you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Level up, 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 level up. All this sauce so yummy, all this sauce so yummy. Now you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy.
Ooh, it's enough for you guys. We filling up the screen. Oh yeah.
Oh, Mr. Foster.
More action. They just gonna see me coming.
Keep elevating, no loss is just upgrading.
Look at you guys jamming. I love it. 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 Welcome to Take Center Stage and Own It. My name is Marisa Bludon. I am your host, and I am so excited to be here today with the Dr. Gloria Walton and the Collaborative Women's International Conference that's coming up this week. So you have seen on my social media platform from, I believe it was, I don't know, when did we talk last, Dr. Walton? Thursday, Friday. Listen, it's been on my platform for the last 3-4 days. You want to register for this conference. It's Women in Between, and we're going to talk about all of that stuff that goes on in between. We're here with a host of the speakers. We're so excited. We're going to start off with our visionary. Let's say hi to our folks first who's chiming in. So we're excited. I put up the link so you don't have to delay. You can register today. And Dr. Walton, what's going on? What inspired you to do what inspired you to do this conference?
Wow.
Talk to us.
Well, this is actually our second conference. In October, we actually did the first Women's In Between conference in Virginia at Virginia Beach. And I thought that might be it, but I have a mandate to continue to do this Women in Between conference. And so I'm going to stick to my assignments and follow through. And so here we are again. April 29th is the kickoff, and this conference will go until May 1st. You cannot miss this conference. This will be an absolute life-changing experience. You will get to hear Marissa from some of the presenters tonight. They will blow your mind in terms of their commitment to their business and what they have to bring to the world. And, it's one thing to have a thought, but when it actually manifests and you understand what your assignment is, what your passion is, and you go even further to bring that to an audience, that's where we're at tonight. Now, in between, I don't know about you, but I know something about being in between. I've had plenty of experience in between marriage, in between broke and prosperity, in between. See, nobody want to talk about that, right?
Oh.
So,
unless you're talking about doing a movie, don't nobody want to talk about how close they are to homelessness.
That's right. No one wants to talk about that, but my life is committed to that. I work with the special population of those that the world has tried to lock down, lock out, silence. And I find that if given the opportunity, you can discover some great gems when given the opportunity. And so that's what Women in Between is about. Although, as you see, we have some men that's in between as well. They can speak to the situation. So, whether it's relationships, whether it's finances, and sometimes that in between may not even have to do with anyone else outside of ourselves, trying to discover who we are. And so you're going to hear a lot about that tonight. I'd much rather have the presenters talk about themselves tonight, if that's okay, Marissa.
Oh, absolutely. That's what Own It is all about. This platform is about leading, but taking the back seat so that others can shine. And so others can, really, share with the world what they have to offer. And so I want to talk to each one of you, and I'm really excited that we have Mr. Foster here. Because I believe that men need to be at the table too in many of the discussions. We have women talking all the time, and our men have a voice. And so it's really an honor to have you here. Super excited to hear from you as well. I see you and your wife as a team up here. And so give that all honor. And so I'm excited to hear that. So I want to also hear from you in regards to the women in between from your perspective. But I want to talk with, I want to highlight Althea here and talk about women in between from purpose to prosper. What does that mean to you? And so, and just share with the audience, just give them a little bit. Don't give them everything, but give them a little bit of what they can expect from you.
All right. Sorry, I had to find the unmute button there. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited about this conference. I work with a group of women that I call risers. Those are women 45 and above who are determined in their prime to do better. So the latter, is going to be better than where they were before. And so, being in between and deeming and being committed to purpose in your prime is what I focus on all the time when I talk to these women. And what I'm talking about is that not being too late to do what it is that you are destined to do. It's never too late to walk in your purpose. Miles Monroe talks about, work being your purpose and not necessarily your job, because, your job you can get fired from. But when you truly pull out and move in your purpose, and that's what I want these women to understand. It's never too late to get that vitality, to get that fulfillment in what they do. We're all at a different place right now when you hit that 45 and above. We could be having, we could be empty nesters by now. We could be talking about our 401ks and retiring, or maybe getting into that next career. Whatever it is, I just want to make sure that I do what I can to help women to see that you can do just what it is your purpose to do. It doesn't matter what society says, and it really doesn't matter sometimes what you're thinking, because those are things that have to be destroyed if they're not aligning with what you're destined to do. So that's what I want to talk about in my talk. I'm going to talk to them about prospering in their prime, the things they need to do to get the lifestyle that they want, to get that fulfilled life that they want, whether it be personal and or in their career.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. And so many people, I know I do business coaching, and a lot of people, believe it or not, at that stage of development are still clueless. They still have not figured it out. And it's important for those who know how to help them bring clarity, help them get clarity, and help them to align with their design, because that's where it is, right? It's aligning with how you were designed. So
absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome that you're tapping into that area, because it is a time of reflecting and it's a time of instability, especially when you're looking at empty nesting, right? So you're looking like, oh my God, my reason for being, or my whole attention has been here, and now that's getting ready to be gone. And now what do I do with that space? And so, so you're hitting on a nice population of women who are very much in need of your services.
Yes, I'm here for it.
So Dr. KP, you're up. I have a question for you. What should a woman do in between, and how can you help her?
Good afternoon. What a woman can do in between is recognize that she needs help, whether that's a therapist or a coach, sometimes both, such as I am, because we find that when we're in between, whether it's like Dr. Gloria said, in between being happily married and in between divorce, sometimes our confidence is shaken, or in between being employed and unemployed. having a prospering business and not such a great business. Those are different examples of things that could be considered in between. And you really need to process that and understand what went wrong, what role that you played in it, and then how do you move forward from that place. And so that's a little bit about what I'll be talking about in the conference. My subject is from blueprint to manifestation. And that is for those who know much about mental health counseling. As a therapist, I create a treatment plan. As a coach, I do the same. I create some type of success plan that's going to help that person move to their next level. So I'm excited to be here and can't wait until the conference.
Oh, I can't. I can feel the juices. And Dr. Walton and I last week were just like, oh my God, you could just feel the juices. And so you said something that was very, very critical. And it's something that is really being discussed in our community today, in the Black
Yes.
community, so to speak, is that mental health and wellness. And not only just the mental health and wellness, we've always talked about the problem. But when it came to speaking about treatment and being okay with getting treatment, speaking to a therapist and all, there's always been that shame or that embarrassment of it. And so now with this pandemic and everything else, we're finding that, hello, people
Absolutely.
really need the help, because it's not just for a certain group of people, it's for humankind. Like, because we all need that
Absolutely.
space, because what goes in emotionally must come out just like everything else. And so you're tapping on an area. As a coach, I can coach. I cannot treat. I can guide, but I do not treat. And we learn that. We learn that
Right.
difference between when you're getting your training. You understand that there are some traits that are similar to therapy, but we don't get into being therapeutic, and it is our responsibility as practitioners to refer you to someone who does that. And I believe
Correct.
that it's important to get a balance. You need to have a balance. You need to have that blueprint. You need to have treatment. Then you need to have a plan, right? So
Yeah.
I think that is so awesome. And folks really need to, these are the places in which, because Dr. Walton has a heart to really help those who are critically in need of the help, that can't afford to get to these big high ticketed conferences. So this is the opportunity. So those people who are watching, don't glean over. You need to stay and you need to hear what's going on, because if you want to change your life and transform your life, this is the room by which you need to be in order for you to begin to do that. This is serious business. We love it because we were created for it, but it's serious business to give people a peace of mind, not just prosperity in the sense of money and gain. It's about peace of mind. Wouldn't you say so? It's about a peace of mind. That is priceless. And so I'm going to move over to LaShonda, because
Yeah.
everyone is going to have an opportunity to come back and say some more stuff. But LaShondra, I just want to tap into you. What's your superpower as it pertains to this conference? I just see that with you. What is your superpower, sis?
My superpower is helping you tap into your strength, helping you tap into your purpose. So I have a coaching business, and mine is unmuted for purpose. So I unmute and unmask those things that we hide behind. Sometimes we need that person to help us find our voice. Sometimes we need that person to let us know it's okay to actually speak to those things that have traumatized us, but to move past those things that have traumatized us. And a lot of times the things that have traumatized us and try to mute us is because of the power that we have for overcoming. Women overcome, and we overcome so many things, but we think nothing of it. You know, we kind of hide behind it because that's just what we do. We overcome. And so my gift, my superpower is to take those off of mute, that who don't even realize that they've been muted by their circumstances or their traumas or their tragedies, and show and help them to unmask those things, speak about them, but to also to kind of capitalize on them, because though that's where you're going to find your strength. And so in your strength, you're going to find your purpose. And so that is my superpower that I bring.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you that's critical, because your voice is your power.
Yes.
You know, knowing how to wield it is your mastery, but your voice is your power. If they can silence you, they silence your vision. They silence your tenacity if you allow it. I love Jill Scott's. I don't know why this is coming to me. If I could give you the world on a silver platter, would it even matter? You'd still be mad at me. If I can find an old vase, a dozen roses, and I would give it to you, you'd still be miserable. And she says, but in reality, I'm going to be who I be. No matter what you do, I'm going to be true to me. And so she is basically saying, because when they try to muzzle you, it's because they want to control you. And so the real deal is that strength that you need is to stay true to your conviction. And you have to find that defiance that says, excuse me, but I'm going to say what I need to say.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
Call me, listen, how they do it, call me angry anyway, right? Yes. So you're going to do what you're going to do anyway. So that is so critical. And for those of us who have a voice that we already have that level of defiance, we take for granted. We do take for granted those people who need that strength, who need that building up, who need to take take back their superpower, and which is their voice. And so that's awesome. That's awesome. And so, Coach Pamela, you are in the house. Talk to us about what you're going to be bringing to the table. How you going to show the people how to own it in between being in between. Yeah, take yourself off mute.
Sorry.
We all do it.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Pamela Turner. I'm a certified fitness trainer. So I'm coming to the conference with a lot of energy to get you guys to a place of peace. April is Stress Awareness Month. So I want to talk about preserving your peace, especially during this time, during this pandemic. There's so many things that have happened over the course of the past couple of years. So I'm here to encourage you guys to live a stress-free life. And so we're going to be talking about practical ways of what you guys need to do in order to reduce your stress, some exercises that you can do, some meditation techniques you can do to kind of preserve your peace during this time. I've been a trainer since 2005, so I'm all about wellness and getting our community healthy. Our bodies are temples, so we need to be healthy in order to carry out whatever task God has given us, whatever purpose we have. We need to be healthy in order to do that. So I'm here to encourage everyone to live their best life and be healthy, and woosai.
Woosai, I know. And you know what that woosai is? It's balance, right? So it's always balance. So I love working out, and I know that when I don't do that, when I don't get that exercise in, or if I don't make sure that my boundaries are kept in place, then what happens to me is I'm not a happy camper. It's just like, are you kidding me? I'm not a happy camper. And so I have a tendency that when I take care of me, and it's not about being selfish, it's about being self-conscious, that if I take care of me, then I'll be so happy and in that special place that I have enough love in my heart to be dealing with everybody else. And so what you're saying is so critical for us to really get that workout in, release some of that adrenaline in the right direction, and build up some of that energy so that we're able to balance and make it through the day. So it's critical, and I don't think that people really take that very seriously. And so I think that this is a very good balance to, in addition to the conference, that is not talked about, especially in, again, our community. And these are just some of the things that we need to start bringing to the forefront. Eating healthy. Like today, I had avocado, beans, and I had that sauteed with some garlic and fresh pepper. That's not something that we talk about eating. I was looking at protein, right? And so when I got finished eating, I didn't feel bloated, right? I didn't feel bloated. I didn't feel overwhelmed. I didn't feel tired and groggy. My energy level is up. And so I think that we need to talk about that, talk about the healthy part of being health conscious. Granted, we can have, nice, big meals at times, but it's also very important for us to feel good physically. So that we are good emotionally. And I think that needs to be more of a part of our conversation, I think. So I'm glad. And I know that you're going to be offering some regimens, right? Some scheduling and some how do you stay focused?
Absolutely.
And then also too, I remember losing weight many years ago, losing about, believe it or not, 65 pounds. And I did it in about 6 months. And I can remember going through the divorce. Now I'm in a circle of new friends and, they're old friends, but I'm newly hanging out with them and da-da-da. And I can remember saying, I cannot eat at a certain time. It's like 8 p.m. at night. And I said, I can't eat because it's late tonight. Like it's late. And so I get feedback from another friend that was attending the event that said, I don't know who she thinks she is because, she wasn't always that small, right? Why is she trying to act like this? So another part of us coming into a place of being healthy and making life choices is really teaching the person who is in between how to push back to say, I'm worth this transition. And I'm not going to go back into conforming with my environment. So we were tapping into, I believe, like last week, that when you're doing a change or when you're in that in-between place, you need to also make sure you're changing your surroundings, your environment, and your circle if you need to. And to also have the courage and the tenacity and the audacity to do that. And say defiantly, I'm not going into the night anymore. This change has got to take place. And it's critical because the results that I have seen, just being physically fit was just like, oh my God, because I was 185 pounds. And I said, where are you going from here? You're getting ready to be 200 pounds, girl. And I had to get mad at myself. And getting mad at myself was intentional so that I can remind myself that this change needs to be permanent, not a quick fix, but a permanent change. And so I applaud you, Pamela, for really helping, because that's the start of being confident. That's the start of being bold. The inward man has to also be in transition with the outward man as well. And so awesome. I love it. And I believe this is my heartbeat. Whosoever will, let them come. Because we want the ones who really want it to show up. If you don't want it, if you're not hungry, then because I'll tell you this, I'll give this and then I'm going to move over to the next, because I just really want to speak to the audience and say, this is your moment. Everyone on this platform right now has already done what is necessary. This is your time. God gives you a window of opportunity. Move inside the window. Let me say this to you as a coach, as one who pours into other people. Let me say this. When I first moved to Jackson, New Jersey, I had hired my neighbor who's a personal trainer, Wanda Bell. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to her working out. I'm paying for my workout, my training. I'm going home. I'm like, I'm tired. I'm eating what I want to eat when I want to eat it. You know what she did? She fired me. She fired me as her client. You want to know why? Because I had no respect for what she was doing. And she made it clear, I don't want your money. But I tell you what, when I got sick and tired of being sick and tired, when I came back to her in 2010, I had already lost 35 pounds on my own. See, we got to get sick and tired of being in our position if we want to get out of the in-between. And Dr. Walton and I were talking last week in regards to there's always an in-between if you desire to be more. Because you're going to be in between this level, and then you're going to get to the next level, and then you're going to be in between the next level. And we should always be in an in-between, and we should always be embracing the in-between so that we can become better. But the objective is to become better when we're coming out of one level into the next level. And so I just really applaud you, because it takes a lot to pour into the life of other people. It takes a lot. It's a pouring out of us into them. And we want to make sure that we're pouring, we are putting our pearls before those who are worthy, not swine, right? He says, put your pearls before, don't put your pearls before swine. So we want them to show up, because this is life changing, and we are at a turning point. We're at a turning point. And if this pandemic didn't say that tomorrow's not promised, then we need to wake up. We need to wake up. And so I say that to say, I'm moving on to radical and revolutionary Miss Lulu Brown. Talk to us about what the audience can, the participants, the conference attendees. You got to come off mute, because I know I always try to make sure I'm not making any noise. So I'm talking and I'm on mute. So I just want to, what can they expect? Revolutionary. I'm ready.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us, and just kudos to Dr. Walton. You said something that was very key, and I gotta say this, Marissa. You talked about not just the difference between coaching and therapy, but you talked about what you learned, and that really struck a chord, because I'm with you, sister. You know, we were trained right. I'm gonna put that. So what the women can expect is that we were trained right. I am a coach and a consultant, understanding the difference between coaching and consulting. I consult with organizations where I do go in and do assessments and give them strategic solutions that they can implement for women in leadership. But then there is the coaching part. And I love what you said, because staying in our lane, not crossing over, because we are not supposed to tell people what to do. We help them to find the right solution for themselves. So it was just so refreshing. I'm sorry, I had to say that. I know I took up some of my minutes, but I had to say that because I enjoyed you making that point. So what can folks expect? Well, they can expect that I'm going to give them some points to demonstrate that God-centered women can live a life of prosperity and wealth without embracing the world's systems for success. We found that, in particular, women of color, we've sort of turned into capitalistic people. So we've got some Black capitalism going on. We've even taken on some of those colonization habits. And now we think that, you know, we're supposed to adopt to these world systems. And so I'm going to be doing some demonstrations on how you don't have to conform, but you can come out of this world's matrix system. Yep, I said that. And religious matrix in particular. And you can stand in the promises of God, that it is He that gives you the power to obtain wealth. Why am I so passionate about this? Because many years ago, particularly in my career and in the beginning of my ministry, I often wish that I had just a mentor that was bold enough to share the good, the bad, and sometimes ugly experiences, along with, now, not staying on the negative, but along with those powerful comebacks from their setbacks. So, you know, sometimes sometimes people say you got to encourage yourself. Well, sometimes you got to take yourself through the process, your own process, to be able to help someone else. So during the past few years, I took a look back over my life and what I had been through and accomplished and done. And I realized that the mentor that I wanted, I already had experience within myself. So I now teach women how to make the types of choices that they need to increase their wealth, access better relationships, connect and collaborate, and make effective business moves, increase their thinking and creativity. Now, how do I do all of that? Because I teach women about their divine power and their spiritual alignment, leaving the ego and letting spirit lead your intellect, your genius, and your brilliance. And that's it. And I do it in a radical, revolutionary way.
Yes. It's so important. And without getting preachy, the Bible is clear. My ways are not your ways, my thoughts are not your thoughts. Not because they're not, it's because we're not open. What he was trying to say to us is you gotta be open and flexible. If I tell you shift to the right, you gotta shift to the right. You can't be over here. And you can't be asking me all the time. You're not going to know. That's what faith is all about. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. You got to be able to shift, and you got to shift quickly. You just got to be flexible. And it's just like sometimes you look and say people, and that's where religion gets you, because you got to have a relationship with him, not a systematic approach to how you get up every morning and you pray, but are you really listening? Are you just talking at him? Because you gotta have it's binary, right? It's like two directional. You can't just be talking at him and not making sure that your spirit is sensitive to hear the shifting. That's powerful. That's powerful. Proper alignment. My God, I can't wait. You already know I'm registered. So I'm registered. So I will definitely be in the house harassing everybody, throwing my hearts up because I'm crazy. I love it. I love the energy. I hope that when people see me, they get excited, because we need to be excited about life. We need to be excited on our own levels, but we need to be excited because really, honestly, he said, I came for you to have life and life more abundantly. And then he balanced it by saying, listen, don't let not your heart be troubled. If you believe in me, trust me. I done dealt with the world. I've overcome even the world. So you're going to have, in this world, you will have tribulations. But Joe, chill. I got this. I've overcome even the world. I've given you all power and all authority over all the power of the devil, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. So why are you worried about that? He wants you to get in alignment with your design so that you can have a fulfilling and flourishing life. So you always going to be, what does the scripture says? From faith to faith, from glory to glory, from grace to grace. So we are always going to be in between. Now, Fosters, you are up. Talk to me. What are they going to experience with this dual team, man? You coming in heavy hitters. So
Hey,
there you go.
hey, we're so excited, man. Good evening to all you beautiful ladies.
Hello.
It's such an honor to be in the room with so many powerful women. Let me just say that first off. It's such an honor. So I wanted to say that when my wife first told me about this event, she told me, "Hey, so we got invited to speak at a women's conference," and that's women's conference. Both of us. I mean, that's something I think you can probably take care of. I don't even think it's gonna be any men there. She's like, "Well, I think it's gonna be both of us." I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." So I'm just excited to be here with you guys. My name is George Foster. This is my beautiful wife, Mr. Tanya Foster. We are the founders of Foster Financial Partners here in Birmingham, Alabama. We're also the founders of Trail Property Group. We're hoping to bring a lot of inspiration, courage, and hope by sharing our faith and our story with you guys. We can't wait to do that because we've experienced some things. We've been together over half our life, so we've experienced some things. Yes. So we're hoping to share those things with you, and not to take too much Easter grass out the Easter basket. My wife gonna share with y'all what we're gonna talk about at this conference.
Oh, yeah.
And our topic here, and what our mission is to speak about uncommon breakthroughs, and encouraging the women to stay in alignment. Miss radical revolutionary Jacqueline, Miss Lulu, encouraging women to stay in alignment to receive their uncommon breakthrough. Our breakthrough may not look like your breakthrough. And as you mentioned early on, Miss Marissa, is so many people just because where they are in their season of life, they believe that their circumstances may define them, and they're not encouraged to push through to that next level. And so what we're going to do, we're going to encourage the women to push through to that next level. There are so many of us going through so many different things. As LaShondra mentioned, women, we wear so many different hats. Wives, mothers, CEOs, business women, and it's okay. It's okay. And so one, we want to give people hope to let them know you can do it all. But you have to be, there has to be a harmony and a balance. And we just really want to encourage people to push through to that next level. Just because you may be going through that divorce, but you can still have that breakthrough. That breakthrough comes after that divorce. You may be going through a sickness, but healing and breakthrough comes after that sickness. You may be dealing with issues with your children or on your job or within your business. Breakthrough comes after that, but you have to be aligned to receive that breakthrough. You have to be aligned and positioned to achieve and receive that breakthrough. So our goal, our mission, our passion is really just to show people, one, how money works, and two, how they can live and achieve their best life possible. So we're wanting people to live their best lives and also handle their money responsibly. Learn about financial freedom, learn about hope. There's just so many things wrapped up in that uncommon breakthrough, but our mission, what we're passionate about, is really just to provide hope and inspiration to people. As George mentioned, we've been married for over half our lives, and we've gone through so many different things. So but look at God. We're not where we were, and we may not be where we want to be. But we're in between, and we're pushing through for that breakthrough. And we want to encourage others to do the same.
Come on.
All right.
Hey, she said it all. She said it all, man. But we're so excited. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh no, you guys are beautiful. I love it. I love seeing a couple when they are loved and connected. They understand. You guys just flowed right there. No struggle whatsoever. It was just a natural handoff back and forth, and I applaud it. And I'm going to tell you, I did a book called Sweetheart Before I Say I Do. I was married for about 19 years. My ex-husband and I were together for about 24 years. And the bottom of the subtitle of my book says, I'm divorced, happily divorced, and I still believe in a happy ever after. You don't have to come out of anything scorned. You don't have to come out of anything mad at the world. And you should, when you're really coming out under God's hand, you come out unscathed. So you come out with a place of forgiveness, resilience, and knowing and experiencing God's love. What is it? Isaiah 61:3 says, He'll give you beauty for your ashes. And I'm going to tell you, it's a beauty to watch you guys, to look at you guys, to see the love that you have for one another, the value of partnership. It is very, very refreshing to see. And I'm thankful for you and pray for you. So it's a beautiful thing to behold. Marriage is a beautiful thing when it's done the right way. And so I applaud you guys, and you're bringing something, huge to the table. And it's our money. Money answers all things. That's what the word of God says. It says it's the love of money that's the root of all evil. But he said money is your medium of exchange. So if you want something, you got to have the currency to do it. And so we're thankful for you to show up and to add balance. If I go around the room, Dr. Walton, you had put a fine conference together. You're talking about aligning with your design. You have to align. You have to know who you are, what you're made of, what makes you tick and what ticks you off. You got to know who you are. Self-awareness leads to self-development, which is a value of oneself and one's worth. And in that process of self-development, which is the in-between, it should lead you to a place of self-mastery, not perfection, but knowing how to navigate through this thing called life, the ups, downs, ins, and outs. And so you have that. Then you have a coach that's ready to talk to the mental health and wellness that goes beyond just changing your mindset and your behavior, there's something that's deeper going on. And you have someone in the house, Dr. I'm getting ready to call you Dr. KP. What is it? Okay, Dr. Walton, what is it with your people? I keep calling them doctors. Listen, let me prophesy to you then, Dr. KP.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I receive it.
Yes, my God. And
Yeah.
so, and then you have that defiant spirit that says, no, you will not take my voice away. I will be heard. And I will shout it from the rooftop with my superpower and my voice. Do not mute me. Then you got being in physical fitness, because that is something huge. When you look in the mirror, you want to be happy with what you see. I love Mary J. where she says, I like what I see when I'm looking in, when I walk past the mirror. I like what I see. You want to love what you see, mentally, spiritually, and physically. And sometimes we kind of push off the physical because we know that that's going to really take work that we can't bypass. You can't bypass physical fitness. You got to show up before you can see the results. So you have that in the house. And then you have the tenacity to be a revolutionary, to understand that you're not going to go quietly into the night and conform to this system, because God said, don't be of this. You got to be in the world, but not of the world. And so here you have the radical Lulu Brown in the house that's going to teach these women to really break free and be authentically unique to them. Because when we show up to the table, because a lot of times we see in conferences, they're telling you, what their agenda is, right? What their agenda is, and this is what you're supposed to be saying. But where's your uniqueness? We're all complex, not complex in difficulty, but complex because we're all unique. Each one of us has a different tribe that's waiting to hear our voice, that's waiting to hear each one of your voices. And so if you sound like everybody else, then how would they differentiate you from anything else? And they need to be able to see that. And again, like I said, going back to finances, in order for you to have a vision, you have to have provision, right? You have to have provision for the vision, and you have to be good stewards over it. So, Dr. Walton, talk to me. I know you got something to say at this point, so I'm gonna bring you back in.
You have really summarized. I had hopes of Dr. Gordon. She's trying to get on. She's a pharmacist now. She brings.
We got her in.
You made it. This is Dr. Malika Gordon, and I mean, that's just it's an honor to have her here tonight. In our community, it's not often that you go into a pharmacy and you see one of us. And so I'll let her tell her own story. And that's really what it's about. Marissa, thank you for highlighting the fact what this conference really means to me. Those people that are in between, those forgotten people. See, we forget that Tyler Perry was homeless and sleeping in his car. We can go down the list. And so that's what Women in Between is about. Finding those, giving and having a platform and an outlet for those that think that there is no hope.
Yep.
Hoping that someone would just give them an opportunity to speak. Because if you hear Steve Harvey, he was down to his last dime and had to get over to a show. Okay? And the list goes on. And so here's the opportunity for our viewers. If you're that person that finds yourself in between, your story is important. Yes. And we want to give you the opportunity. I'm a servant leader, and that's why I asked that these jewels would share what they are bringing to this conference. Yes. This conference will be life-changing. As Lulu said, she is the radical revolutionary person, and the teachings. And not only will they come and receive teachings, but they will walk away with something tangible. We'll have workbooks. And let me just say now that there's only 3 days left for pre-registration. On the 20th, after the 20th, you will not be able to register. And I am so in awe with God at the number of registrations that we have now. My presenters will be in awe as well, because we have a great audience. In number, a great audience. And so to our viewers, register today. And you've heard what this assortment of talents. God is so wise.
Thank you.
It takes 5 different fingers and all different body parts to make one member. And that's what we have. Not only do we have different members in one body, but we also have different seasons in our lives. And so if you find yourself, if this is your season where you find yourself in between, look, not just, I like to talk relationships, but again, we talked about health. Pam talked about health. Coach K is talking about our mentor. We are 3-dimensional. And so this conference will speak to every part of your being. Althea, I just had a birthday. Thank you, Althea. Because when you reach a certain age, and there are plenty of them, you wonder, now what? You retired, now what? Your life is not over. Register and come and hear what Althea has to say. That being said, let's hear from Dr. Malika Gordon.
All right, Malika Gordon is in the house.
Hi, good evening. Good evening. Hi, I am Dr. Malika Gordon. I'm a registered pharmacist in the state of Florida. I will be speaking about finding your authentic self in the midst of a storm. I've had several adversities growing up to get to where I am now. My mother was a high school dropout. Well, my mother was a high school dropout. She had an 11th grade education. My father was addicted to crack. I grew up in the projects. I still graduated from high school. I went to college. I'm a graduate of Florida A&M University College of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences. And during my matriculation through college, I was a single mom. I had a baby. My son, it put me a year behind in school. So I had to figure some things out as to how am I going to continue. The word, people, your family members talk about, well, she's going to drop out. She's going to be right back home in the projects. So it's different things that pushed me to get to the point to where I am, to where I did graduate. Although I didn't graduate on time, I still graduated with my Doctor of Pharmacy degree. I've just been through a lot. So I will be speaking about the different adversities that you experience in life and how you find yourself and your true self through those adversities where you don't have anybody to turn to except to lean on God in prayer, through prayer, going through deliverance to get some of those things taken off of you, word curses that have been spoken over your life, over your finances, generational curses broken off of you, the vows that you even made about yourself, about how you'll never do this or how I'll never do that, and that affects your life as well. So I will be speaking about how you can turn everything around and find who God created you to be before he placed you inside of your mother's womb. That's all I have to say at this point.
Wow. Well, that's a lot, Dr. Gordon. That's a lot that you said. And before you talked about encouraging yourself, that's so important. Especially, listen, if this pandemic, you could walk away from this pandemic and just say, oh, a lot of people passed away, oh, this was so bad. Or you can look at it and see, what does this mean for me specifically? What should I get out of this? And so there are going to be times where you have to encourage yourself, and people have to learn how to do that. We've become so reliant on technology and having access to something all the time. We've lost sight of how to do that very thing. Paul and David cry out through their testimonies in the Bible about how they had to encourage themselves. David being in the cave, Paul being, ostracized and cast out because he wasn't one of the disciples. And I relate to Paul because we're called to those who are the less attractive, the ones that are out there, the wayward ones, right? We're called to those people. And so we have to learn. We have to teach folks how to encourage themselves. You may not be able to get to someone, and how do you still make it through? And you talked about your relationship with your Heavenly Father and how that's critically important for you to really have that relationship. You also talked about inner vows. That's so important. People don't understand that words are seed that go into the ground. If you don't uproot them, if you don't take them up from the root, they still will bear fruit in your life. And you're wondering why later on these things are manifesting. But you got to go back and repent for that. And you got to get yourself right for that. And you had to uproot those inner vows. There's inner vows and bitter root judgment. So when you don't walk in forgiveness and you make judgment on other people, that manifests in your life. So Dr. Jordan, you're hitting on some things that are so very critical that people are not understanding. They're going on in their life and they don't understand the power of words. And you said words that have been spoken that are to your detriment, and not, they're curses and not blessings. Let's call them what they are. Curses and not blessings, and to rebuke the devourer, right? To get rid of that, to take back. So you guys are really, this is going to be, I'm looking at all y'all. This is going to be a powerful conference. And not just filled with, conferences are great, but this is deep work. This is deep work and life-changing and life-lasting if they apply it. And you got my heart, Dr. Walton, when you say workbook, because if you if you were in any of the rooms that I have been in coaching, I always speak to my people about writing a workbook. If you're a published author, you should, whatever you wrote in that book, you need to be teaching people how to do it, right? And so how do you teach them how to do it? You give them a workbook. You give them activities that transform from one behavior or mindset to another, and all the activities that are required to achieve that goal. And so I am, oh my God, I don't want to let you guys go. Can we just have the conference? Listen, we're going to do what I call a round robin. I just need you guys take 1 minute to share your closing remarks. Happy Resurrection Day before I forget to all of you. This is so amazing. And an hour goes by so fast. We haven't even scratched the surface of what you guys are going to do over this past next weekend. And so I just want to hear your closing remarks. We'll start with you, Althea, and then we're going to go around, and Dr. Walton, we'll hear from you last. You'll close us out. So Althea, then KP, Coach KP will go, LaShondra, then we'll go Coach Pamela, my revolutionary sister over here. Then we'll go to the Fosters, and Dr. Gordon, I'm pretty sure she'll jump back in when it's time. And then we'll just, and then after Dr. Jordan, Dr. Walton, if you would close us out. Althea, you're up.
So sorry, me and that mute button. Thank you again so much for having me. This has been so good, and I'm so excited and can hardly wait for this conference. Imparting, today is Resurrection Sunday, and Christ died so that we could have life, and he sacrificed his life so that we could have it and have it more abundantly. And I want us to think about that as we think about this conference. What kind of life are we living? Are we really living our lives in the abundance that he sacrificed his life to give to us? Do we have that abundance? And if not, if we're in between, it's okay, because we know that each part of this journey is building to put us to where we need to be. But don't settle on mediocre when you know that abundance is there for you. So whatever that abundance looks like, I encourage you to chime in to this conference so that you can get the nuggets that you need so that you can work on that abundance that you're destined to have. Talk to any of us. We have so much to share with you on that day. I promise you there'll be something that you can hold on to.
Oh, my goodness. My goodness. So good.
Okay, well, this is Coach KP, and I will say, don't miss the conference. Those of you in the audience, if you have not registered, as Dr. Gloria said, time is running out. You only have until the 20th. Don't miss the conference because this is something that is going to change your life. What you heard tonight was just a part of the many speakers that are going to be involved in this particular conference, and just really we're going to be sharing our hearts and sowing into the lives of people on those 3 days. So it is imperative that you be there.
Awesome. Awesome. There you go.
Okay, I'm sorry. So
Okay.
I just want to challenge everyone to rise up. Just rise up in this moment, rise up in this space, in this time, and to take part in this journey with these beautiful women as each one of them take us on their journey and we embark on this journey with them to just walk in your truth. I challenge you, walk in your truth and be open to these women walking in their women and men walking in their truth and sharing their experiences with us, and to become just open to another way, to be open to the paths that other people have taken to get where they are, and know we've all had obstacles and challenges, but you too can overcome them just like each one of us have. I challenge you to do so. Join us in this wonderful conference.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. This is so awesome. Coach Pamela?
Yes. So I just want to encourage everyone to begin to make their health the number one priority. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be talking about preserving and protecting your peace. And your peace it's a combination of your emotional, your physical, your mental state. And so I want you guys to start to think about what it is that you need to do in order to be healthy and eliminate those excuses. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of things. And stress is going to be our primary focus, but we're going to talk about wellness overall. So I encourage you to register for the conference. Meet us there, and you won't be disappointed.
Awesome, awesome.
Okay. This is a conference that you don't want to miss. I just want to encourage every woman out there, please, please make sure that you register for this conference. This is true transformation, and you don't want to miss this opportunity. Don't let this might be your time. This may be the time for such a time as now for you. So don't miss this opportunity. You want to register. You want to be in I'm going to say room, but the virtual room. You want to be in the virtual room.
Yes, 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 yes.
Right.
Hello, we are the Fosters, and we are so excited to
Yes.
share with each and every one of you guys at the Women in Between Conference. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. If you are ready to receive that uncommon breakthrough, that breakthrough specifically designed for you, the breakthrough in your finances, breakthrough in your marriages, breakthrough in your businesses, you do not want to miss this event. Register today. Invest in yourself.
Wow. Okay. I don't even have anything else to say. Register. You know, I don't have anything.
Oh,
Y'all heard it here, man. Wow. Wow. That was awesome.
yes, yes. Dr. Walton. Oh, Dr. Gordon.
Oh, sorry. I would just like to say, register. It'll be a life-changing event. I'm quite sure when you listen to someone's story, you can resonate with someone's story that is a reflection of something that you've encountered, you've experienced, and there will be an example of how to overcome it. You are not your mistake. You're not too old. It's not too late. So register, and you will can get a breakthrough, revelation, a new way of doing things. Register, register, register. Thank you.
Register. Wow. You know, if I was in the audience, Facebook or wherever, listening to this, I would register. After hearing the abundance, the talents, and feeling the anointing on this group of men and women, I would be moved to register. The women in between, you can't live, although that in between is a constant, but we have to cross over to the other side at some
Yeah.
point in your life. And this is not a religious um, platform, but I am a spiritual woman. So I'm going to say this. After working and being with the multitude, Jesus always crossed over. And so
Yes.
it's time to cross over to the other side. You may be listening and thinking, oh, this is not for me because I already make 6, 7 figures. Whatever your situation is, I'm sure that you know someone, daughter, sister, friend, that would benefit from this conference. So please love that person enough to say, I heard, I saw, join, register for them. They will receive the itinerary once you register so that they can join this conference. The kickoff is April 29th. There will be speakers the 29th, the 30th, and May 1st, and we will close out with an awesome gospel session. You do not want to miss this. I am Gloria Walton. I am honored to serve this host of talents, and I look forward to seeing you at the conference. Thank you, Marissa. And I want to mention Dr. Carolyn Stevens, who is not here. And it's because of Dr. Carolyn that I was introduced to Marissa. I want to thank her. And I want to thank you for being such a gracious host and allowing us the opportunity to share on your platform. Thank you.
You are very welcome. That's what Own It is all about. Own It is all about helping to be a support, and we take the backstage so that you can take center stage and own it. We're excited. We're excited. We're proud. We're honored to be connected. This is what we do. This is what you do. And no, we're not a religious platform either, but our hearts for God just
Our hearts for
shines.
God. Right.
We don't have no other choice. So
That's
I always recommend that. Listen, whatever it is that you believe in, you better put it to the
you
test.
better.
And if it's
Yes.
not working for you, I don't have no problem with sharing what my beliefs are. But
That's right.
it's just compelling. You don't. It just overflows in you, because he just been so good to us. So
That's who we are.
but it isn't. It is whosoever will let them come.
Whosoever will.
Come, get
Yes.
your breakthrough. I don't care what your background is. Everyone wants to level up, and say, and even our faith says, come as you are. It's not about conversion. It's not about anything like that. It's about, do you want to level up? Do you want to, enjoy the benefits of what comes out of going in between, so you can apply them
Yes.
as you level up, as you have and build a life that you desire to live, that you flourish in. And so without further ado, happy, for those of you who celebrate Christianity, happy Resurrection Day.
Yes. Yes.
This is the Collaborative Women's International Conference, Women in Between, from purpose to prosper. And it is, as Dr. Walton said, the April 29th through the 1st, May 1st. And you want to register. Pre-registration is by the 20th. And I believe that is Wednesday, correct? If I'm not wrong, or is it?
Yes.
It is Wednesday, correct. So make sure the link is right there in the comments, and we will add all of the speakers' social media comments. We'll add their information into the comments section after this live recording. And so just so excited. Go ahead.
I just want to ask our viewers if they would follow us, because throughout the year, we have various workshops that they could take advantage of. Jacqueline does a lot of the teaching. Althea, so many of them. Coach KP, Mind Matters. There's lots and lots of work that's going on individually and collectively. And so I just like to let them know that this is more than a conference.
That you can follow up. And that's critical too, because if you want change to sustain, you got to have consistency, and you got to have consistency and support. And so just as Dr. Walton said, get connected. Get and stay connected. We'll drop all their social media links into the thread here on this platform. And ladies and gentlemen, have an incredible week. Continue to enjoy the rest of your night. We're out. Everybody wave. We love you guys. We're out.